the shooting went on for about the length of a song, and it was just people initially thought it was a part of a song. And it had the shots just continuously went off. And people were talking about how they were scrambling for the door and sending text messages and seeing how people were just falling to the ground. And it's a disturbing thought, but, by the same token, like I said, it's just hard to kind of process that.
Well, they said there's a lot of dead bodies at the club. That's a crime scene. They can't identify anybody. So it could be hours and hours before we find out. The hospital said that there are some bodies at the hospital that came in and they died. And they're not identifiable yet either. And then there are a few that are in critical condition that aren't identified yet.
Christine, I am so sorry. Were you able to have any kind of communication with your son last night at all? Any text messages, any phone calls?
No, I called him last night at 6 o'clock. He was at SeaWorld, and I was just getting him some information that he was going to need to know for my upcoming surgery. And I left him with, "I love you, Chris." And then I just happened to wake up at 3 o'clock, and I was checking my Facebook. And I saw that one of Christopher's friends, Brandon, had posted on Facebook that there was a shooting at the Pulse, and he doesn't know where his friends were. So I texted him and called him and came right here to the hospital. And we've been waiting since 4 this morning.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Big Boy Project. Today we're back with another video, and a sad video at that, because apparently in Orlando, Florida, there was a shooting at a gay club called Pulse. And there was 50 people killed and 53 people injured, and they said it could be more because they haven't finished surveying the area. So at this time, we're going to go around to each individual person. They give a little synopsis of what's going on. So Mark, I'll let you go, Mark, since you were talking about it before in another group. So
basically, like I said, what's been considered the worst mass shooting in U.S. history. It was a gay club. They think it was, well, they don't think, it's been, just determined as a hate crime and a domestic terrorist attack because the person who did the shooting was an American-born citizen. And it's just horrible. It's just, we'll find out what's going on later on in the week. But it's just some of the stuff that was coming out, like at first, the initial count was 20, then it jumped up to 50. 53 wounded, but any of those people wounded could probably, hopefully they don't, but it's possible that they could probably succumb to their wounds or something. Also, they were talking about that a lot of people they've only identified 4 people so far to the media, and somebody said that they gave it was a haunting description of how they're trying to determine who's passed, and they're trying to identify the bodies, but they've moved none of the bodies outside the building, including the killers. So they said the cell phones are constantly ringing of people trying to find out their loved ones are alive or not. So just imagine you being there trying to identify bodies, and these cell phones are going off all around you. You can't answer them. You can't pick.
Right.
So it's bad, and I'm like still numb. I'm very numb. I
Right.
mean, considering, but yeah.
Right. Just to wake up to the news, because the shooting happened at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
They were having Latin night at the club, and people were having a good time. And it's a man named Omar.
Omar Martin. What was his
Okay.
name? Omar Martin, something like that?
I just know Omar. I can't really
Yes,
pronounce.
Omar Martin. I just wasn't.
Okay. I couldn't really pronounce his name, so I just said Omar. Omar walked in the club with a rifle and decided to shoot and call the police, saying that he did this because of ISIS, so-called. Now, this doesn't mean he's part of ISIS. They're still investigating that, but
Well,
he did say ISIS name in the call.
he did play. He supposedly, allegedly, pledged allegiance to ISIS. That's what I'm reading here, according to ABC News.
Yep.
That during the thing he pledged his allegiance to ISIS, which
Yep.
so that pretty much escalates it, not just from a hate crime to a terrorist attack.
Right.
Yeah, and just earlier today, onto that, they said that there's ISIS directed and then there's ISIS inspired, and ISIS might not have directed this attack, but it was inspired by, or vice versa. They don't have a concrete clue, but the ISIS has been thrown into the mix now. So, and a lot of people, because I had just shared a photo collage of gay Muslim and transgendered people, and and they're saying like, the media's not going to show this. I usually don't share stuff like that because I don't know. Just some people just like to already, when a tragedy or an event happens, they always try to do a counter view of it and whatnot. But I said, yeah, there are, because it wasn't a Muslim sanctioned attack. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to do it for them. But I read the comments of some of the people who showed it, and they were not believing that this was ISIS related. They're like, it's not ISIS related. It's not. And they're like, well, he said he was. Did they have audio? And I'm like, okay, here we go with this stuff. It has a lot of people in disbelief that this man did not sit there and do this in the name of ISIS or something like that in some capacity. So there's that too.
Right. So, Adrian, what are your thoughts about the situation?
I don't know. I'm still kind of in shock about the entire thing. Like, one, it's just way too much. I feel like we live in a time where there's a lot of news that happens just quickly, and we kind of get sensitized to death. We see a lot of celebrity death. We see a lot of violent death, domestically. And I feel like, unfortunately, right now, I'm still a little bit numb to it. I'm still reading the news on CNN right now and hearing the horrific news about how, like, the shooting went on for about the length of a song, and it was just people initially thought it was a part of a song. And it had the shots just continuously went off. And people were talking about how they were scrambling for the door and sending text messages and seeing how people were just falling to the ground. And it's a disturbing thought, but by the same token, like I said, it's just hard to kind of process that, like, all of this hatred is sort of happening right now. So, especially after hearing about the guy in Los Angeles who was going to West Hollywood Pride, and it's just like that's a lot to take in, and we haven't even reached, like, if this is sort of like a new mode of domestic terrorism in order to attack at these big events, then, like, we haven't even reached San Francisco and New York Pride. So, like, that's another scary thought there. I don't know. Obviously there's a lot of thoughts to process. The thing that I don't understand is why do we still have, like, such stringent, or why don't we have stringent gun laws yet? This guy was supposedly interviewed by the FBI in 2013 and in 2014. Yeah, exactly, a few times. Why is someone who's been, questioned by the FBI allowed to go out and get firearms? So,
but not even that, just to get a job in security in general.
Yeah, see, there's that too. Yeah, I mean, I'm still reading about everything right now, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, just because he's been interviewed by the FBI doesn't mean he has committed a crime. I mean, that's the problem. You can't stop people from getting firearms before they commit crimes. Yeah, I mean, it's stupid. You should be able to. I think it would be great if we had. That's why I agree with you. We need more stringent gun laws. We need to be able to catch these people before they can. But right now, the system is set up so that we don't. So just because he's been interviewed by the FBI 3 times, he was never formally investigated for anything. According to what I was reading in the news, he was never formally. He was being looked at. He was on their watch.
Right.
Until he actually commits something, they can't take away his rights, his Second Amendment right to bear arms. So he's still a United States citizen. I agree with you. That's bullshit. I think that that we should have gun laws. Not everybody should be able to have a gun.
Right.
But in this particular case, until he actually committed something or did something, he has every right to own a gun.
Yeah, and I agree with Jose on it. However, it's like an assault rifle. What the fuck you need an assault rifle for?
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody outside of a military or law enforcement capacity should be allowed to buy military grade weapons.
Right.
What are you hunting for people that hunt? What are you hunting that requires you to have an AR-47 or AK-47?
Nothing at all.
You know what I'm saying? You're taking if you're using it for hunting, like a lot of people say they use it for hunting.
What are you hunting?
Where is the challenge? Where is the challenge? Because you're not clearly that. It's 2016. We no longer hunt to survive, to sustain ourselves. We can go to the supermarket and buy whatever we want. So if you're hunting for sport. You're taking the sport out of it if you have a goddamn machine gun.
I mean, what are you hunting? A Tyrannosaurus Rex? Do you really need a machine gun or assault rifle to do that?
Right.
3-inch bullets. They said the bullets were 3 inches long, and then they said that the bullets.
Shit, what was it? What the fuck was it? A 50 cal?
I don't know. They said that one person described. They said they saw like the one person get their arm blown completely off.
No.
Yeah. So it was just
that's just ridiculous. But I agree with AJ. This has already been described. Again, I'm looking at this ABC News, and I saw the same statement done on CNN. This is being described as the worst domestic terrorist attack on U.S. soil since the happenings at Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Only because there's 32 more people was killed in this attack than it was in Virginia Tech.
Right. So far. Now.
So far.
So people going.
I'm sorry, not 32. 18 more. It was 32 people killed in Virginia Tech. 18 more were killed here in Orlando. So I wanted to get my numbers right.
Because, like I said, they still surveying the area, trying to find evidence. So people scrambling, moving around. You don't know, maybe there's somebody slaying in places they can't find right now.
Yeah. Now, mind you, also they were reporting earlier that this all stemmed, and this is where the story is confusing for me, but supposedly this all came up because this man, according to his father, he's anti-gay. So this whole thing is not religious. It's not a religious thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Supposedly he was out with his wife and kid, and he saw 2 men kissing, and now there's 50 people dead. So supposedly that enraged him so much that he had to. But this was in Miami. You drove 3 hours and 18 minutes north to go to Orlando and shoot up a club? Are there no gay clubs in Miami?
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
The 3 hour drive didn't calm you down? What? You know what I'm saying?
It's more than that.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That stuff does not add up.
That's what I was saying.
Story. So when I say it's absolutely a terrorist attack. He has to have been part of ISIS or something, or pledging or this was like his initiation, because clearly he knew he wasn't gonna get away with this.
Right.
Exactly.
What's your thoughts about it, Tamar? Because you really didn't have a chance to say anything.
I have a scattered thoughts about it. I read some of the articles this morning, and of course, I think I saw the on my feed last night or early this morning. And I'm not really an emotional person, but that was really touching to me. It really, I saw some of the images of like the text messages. I don't know if they were fake or whatever, but it still touched me to see people say, "How Mom, I'm hiding in the bathroom. I think I'm about to die." Just those type of things. It was doing a lot for me. I had to stop watching CNN and stop reading some things on my feed because I just couldn't take it.
Right.
I don't know what's going on in Orlando. Christina Grimmie was killed the night before. And then this happened the next day. I don't know what's happening, what's in their water. I don't know what's going on down there, but they need to fix it. And I posted on Facebook, "Dear NRA, now do you understand? It's really time for us to revisit those gun laws and think about what that really means." And even we talk about that, the Constitution. When the Constitution was written, we were at a totally different place in America.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even if we have to revisit the Constitution to be like, okay, well, this applied back then, but what about in 2016?
Right.
And so I think things need to be put into perspective in that way. I think we need to really start having a voice in gun laws and lobbying for those type of things to be changed. And I mean, it's just really disgusting to me. And not really, I'm not angry, I'm just heartbroken. And I volunteer with the LGBT community, and our Nationals Pride is in a couple of weeks. So, like, hopefully they will increase security measures, and this is not going to be a trickle-down effect or a copycat that just goes out across the land, because who would want that? So, and normally, like on my Facebook pages, I don't vocalize my viewpoints on a lot of different things politically, but I couldn't take it today. So I made a couple of statements about of course, the standard, feel sorry for Orlando and the families and the victims, and I want someone to challenge and say something, because this is just ridiculous. So I don't really have any outstanding opinions about everything. I'm really coming from a sincere place and really saddened by everything that took place.
Right. The whole situation, they need to have, with the gun laws, they need to have mental exams and figure out where, of course, background checks, of course, but they need to have a mental test too to see where you are mentally right now.
I don't know. I mean, where you are mentally, where I am mentally right now on Sunday could be a totally different conversation to where I am on Friday.
I agree with that.
So I don't know if a mental exam could be foretelling if someone should have a gun. As far as proper registration, background checks, those type of things are really important, I think. Mental examination, first of all, the background check should cancel out half of the problems. Of anything to do with violent behavior, or the guy who did the thing with the FBI, he was interviewed, the guy. He was interviewed twice by the FBI. Well, we don't know what he's interviewed for. I don't know if that's been released. But
I think there's something. A part of that was something to do with domestic violence or something like that.
And it went to the FBI?
He was also interviewed because he had reached out to a suicide bomber. See, that's the thing that kind of fucks
me up. At all. Hello.
I mean, like, what's the point of having a Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? Like, I don't really give a fuck. Like, sorry, I'm using really harsh language. It just bothers me that, like, all right, take a couple minutes. All right. It just bothers me, like, what's the point of investigating someone and, like, not putting them on a list that says that they can't purchase weapons if they've reached out to a suicide bomber? Like, you don't get the ability to purchase assault rifles.
No,
right?
you don't.
You don't get the ability to purchase assault rifles and not have a background check. I'm sorry.
No.
You know.
Jose said it best, like, why do you need an assault rifle?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just,
is it the zombie apocalypse? What's happening? Are we storing weapons for the end? Why do we need an assault rifle?
They shouldn't be on the market.
Three good reasons. They shouldn't be on the market.
But that's the thing. But like I said, in the news, they ain't really say anything about where he got the gun. Because, of course, he couldn't get it in a store. So he had to get, like, in the black market from a gang. Some sources.
They sell some pretty powerful weapons at Walmart.
Yeah.
They do.
So, I mean, and you know, you got these gun shows that these people are going to these shows. They got these booths. They're ready to make a sale right then. They don't go through the proper thing of saying, hey, they don't tell the people, hey, to purchase this ticket, you have to go through your background check. To purchase ticket to go to a gun show. You know what I'm saying? You buy your ticket, you go to the gun show, you find the gun you want, you buy it. Boom. Where's the background check? Where's the 72-hour hold? Where's the, you know what I'm saying? They don't do any of that stuff.
But you gotta think though, like they said in the news, he had this perfectly planned. So leaving a paper trail doesn't sound like a perfectly planned plan. So for me, he had to get it from either something that had the serial number ripped off, not from a store.
Right, absolutely, absolutely. Now, mind you, I think we focus too much on the purchasing of guns. You need to go through a background check to get a license to carry.
Right.
You need to have X amount of hours of gun safety. You need to have. That's what I think. I think you should have gun safety classes that you have to take mandatory before you do anything. You have to have, before you can even touch the gun, you have to have at least a 72-hour hold. You have to go through your extensive background check. If I got to go through an extensive background check to get a top secret clearance, just to know some things, I think you should have to go through whatever you have to do to get a top secret clearance just to own a gun.
Right.
I mean, yeah, top secret. I just got a secret clearance. Top secret is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the military, I detested having to go redo my security clearance. I mean, the packet itself is this thick, and you got to know where you lived 7 years back. So if you've moved around a couple times,
you gotta know every.
You gotta know intricate details of what the hell you were doing 7 years prior. So I mean, it's ridiculous. And if you're trying to go even further, a higher security clearance, then that's 10 or 12 years more. It's ridiculous. I think that's the kind of shit you should have to do if you're trying to get a gun.
A vetting process, absolutely.
It should be a vetting process, absolutely. And it should be a thing that whoever you bought the gun from, whatever store you bought it from, whatever you do with that gun, they're liable too.
I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Stacey Dash posted on Twitter,
Oh my God.
"My heart and prayers are with the LGBT community. This atrocity would not go unanswered under President Trump, I promise. Hashtag pray for Orlando."
Did she really?
And everyone is just
Oh
like,
my
just
God.
I want to share that. I love it.
You and Trump can go to hell together.
Oh my God. Fucking Stacey Dash is so sad, man. It doesn't matter. I mean, if we're at the very least, a small step would be, if we're going to continue to have this type of weaponry for sale that the public can purchase, then you need to be monitored. I'm sorry. There need to be checks on people if you have a certain amount of weaponry. I mean, human beings are very emotional. Human beings change from day to day. I think you have to be checked on if you're going to be allowed to have a certain amount of weaponry.
Agreed.
So people are already turning the tragedy into like a political slogan.
A lot of people saying that they don't want it to happen, but if you won't change, then you have to it has to be put on that table.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, you can't be like, don't turn this to, we gotta sit there because everybody's wanting praise. You got half the group saying praise ain't gonna do nothing. We need reform. And if you gotta do something. You gotta do something. So it's gonna end up being a political statement, because if you really want change, then you're going to go to your local politician, your local congressman, your local senator, and be like, look, we need to do something about this. And for them if you go to them, they take it to the next level. It's a political movement then. I mean, you're not going to sit here about it's not going to do anything.
Right, but please read what Donald Trump says so we can read him.
And I quote, "Appreciate the congrats for being right on radical Islamic terrorism. I don't want congrats. I want toughness and vigilance. We must be smart."
You pissed it.
He was congratulated on his statement about Islamic terrorism.
Wow.
And
Way to turn a 50-person massacre all about him.
Exactly.
And then he said, reporting that Orlando killer shouted Allahu Akbar as he slaughtered clubgoers. Second man arrested. I just read this article. Second man arrested in LA with rifles near gay parade. So it's spreading.
Mm-hmm. So like Adrian said, they just found somebody with ammunition in the van.
Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous because, like I was telling them earlier, I was like, if I felt like that could have been any of us at Bulldogs, at Eagle, Hell, anywhere, just sitting in our own business, and this happens because, I mean, and I think about them type of clubs, they're kind of small and labyrinthine. I might be pronouncing that word wrong.
Labyrinthian.
Labyrinthian. Thank you. That's why I wanted to. It sounded more educated if you say it.
Yeah.
Labyrinthian. Labyrinthian, but because this walked up in the Eagle. I had to sit there and go around that place 2 or 3 times to really figure out how to get outside. You know what I'm saying? Just imagine if you just go up in there for the first time and you don't know your way out. You know what I'm saying?
But the thing about any club is the lights are down, the music is high, so you can barely hear people. You got to be up close to hear them.
And then you're not sober.
Right. So when people say, I thought it was the music, people really thought it was the music because in the club, that's how loud the music is.
Because we had to go outside to get away from the speakers and stuff to talk.
Right. So, that, like I said, when people say, oh, I can't believe that y'all couldn't hear that, like, of course you're not. Like, those are people that never been to a club. If you've been to the club, the music is loud. They want you to dance. They want you to move. The music is almost to the highest level. So, especially if you buy the DJ booth, you really can't hear anything. So, like I said, only time people actually saw things happening when people were dropping to the floor. Then they're like, okay, something's going on. Something's definitely going on. And they start panicking and running out.
Right. A lot of people saying how gays deserved it because I saw some tweets about stuff like that.
That's what I was saying.
There was a little something going on a few months ago about Bella Noche's, this restaurant. I think Memphis or somewhere like that, or when they got shot up and these 2 ratchet girls.
But at the same time, it don't matter. People got killed. These are people. Take away the color. Take away your
orientation.
Sexual orientation. These are people. These are kids. These are fathers, sons, daughters, whatever.
Come on, James.
Well, it's funny.
And this is the funny thing. If this happened to your family, when somebody say that to you, and you want to be theirs because they saying about your child, right?
Yeah. It's funny you say that.
This whole situation is just messed up.
Yeah. It's funny you say that because a lot of my friends from the LGBT community were saying they're glossing over the fact that this was a gay nightclub. But in my mind, I was like, but you got to look at it. The bottom line, they were Americans. They died. We already saying it's a hate crime. I think that's enough because it's not just you can't just walk up in you can't walk if you walk up in a white church and you just shot up a lot of you can still say it's a hate crime because it might be against Christianity, but if the person's motive was, I just came here to shoot, like a few years ago in Knoxville, somebody walked up to a church and shot up a lot of people. But they initially thought that because the church was LGBT inclusive, that there was a hate crime. But come to find out, a man wasn't going in there. A lot of people were like saying they glossed on the fact that there was LGBT people, but I'm like, they're not. The fact that they're calling it a hate crime, and that the nightclub was, a gay nightclub, to me says enough. Hate crime, he ended up his alleged motive of just seeing 2 men kissing in front of his son and wife, that was a hate crime. I just think that, but then some people say, why they gotta keep saying LGBT and why they keep saying it's a gay club? And just because it's the same amount of coverage from both sides.
Watch that type of stuff. It just wears me to pieces.
I had to cut off the TV because I was like, this is too much.
It was too much. I stopped watching CNN. I stopped watching my Facebook thread about it. Like all the updates that you guys are saying is new to my ears about the terrorist attack and what he yelled out and what his father said. Like I stopped listening once I heard what was going on. And those text messages, I thought about when 9/11 happened and how they played those phone calls when people call their family and friends as the plane was being taken over. I boo-hoo like a baby. And so that same little thought process ran through my brain when I was reading those messages that the people were saying when they were hiding in bathroom stalls and all those type of things. It just really sucks. So what happens next? Like, we talk about this now. We change our profile pictures. And I'm surprised that Facebook hasn't did that thing like they did for Paris.
We support Orlando and all this stuff. But see, that's the thing. That's what we do. It's the same rhetoric we always do. We have a major thing happen. Everybody's outraged. Everybody wants gun control. 2 weeks from now, no one's going to even remember this happened.
No.
Because it's like it was like Jose, just to add on what Jose just said. Well, I remember when the Parasite came out, they were bitching because you didn't do one for this, you didn't do one for that. Why y'all doing this? Why y'all posting this? And how many people gonna change their thing back to the regular thing? It was just like, I guess Facebook's like, we can't just appease every damn body. So if we post one up, somebody's gonna come up and like, well, that's offensive. Why y'all post that up? Why y'all even give it as an option? And it's not helping anything. Somebody said let them go ahead and get that feature up as long as But somebody did say that at least they gave people the option to check in and say they were fine. That went up. Because to me, I think that was more something to like be looking forward to instead of just like, let me just sit here and show my solidarity with the trend.
I agree with Jose. We're such a popcorn microwave society.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, when a gorilla almost kills another child, we're gonna have a new something else to talk about. Or Bruce Jenner gets a boyfriend or a wife. We're gonna have something else new to talk about. Nobody's gonna care anymore about what happened in Orlando. So what do we do next? How do we challenge the status quo to say, guys, this is what we should do. Let's pay attention because these videos have to be important. They have to have substance. So what do we do to sort of say, hey, wake up? What's that new saying that people are saying now about waking up or
stay woke?
Stay woke, that thing.
God, I hate that word too. Stay woke.
I hate woke. I hate the word woke.
I hate
it. And ridiculous. But yeah.
I'm over wokeness and woke people. Just girl, like pay attention. That's it. I'm sorry.
You know what?
I'm so tired of people being just like the whole pretense of I'm more aware of you, more.
Look, what the girl from Sister Act said it better. If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, wake up and pay attention.
What is it? I missed it. What is it?
You say if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, wake up and pay attention.
Better wake up and pay attention.
Dang. Well, Lawrence Fishburne said wake up at the end of school days.
Well, before we end this, what is everybody's final thought about the whole situation?
My thoughts and my prayers go out to all the family and friends and people who are in Orlando and it's a tragic. This needs to not be forgotten in 2 weeks. We need to really, people in power really needs to do something about these gun laws. Radical people need to stop with all this hate because this is ridiculous.
Peace, love, and light to all the families and people affected by this horrible, tragic event. I agree with Jose that we need to be more aware and more consistent in our ability to see things that are going wrong and try to make changes and strides to fix those situations. So that's all I have to say about it.
I'm just still in a state of. It might not look like it, but I'm still in a state of shock because I can't formulate words to just say how distraught I am because it's getting to the point now we can't even go out and have fun. We can't go to. We're not safe in our schools. We're not safe.
Church,
bars, churches, anything. And I do want to say that the ones who are telling people to that we need to fight against the Muslims, so like the ones who are like putting guns in their hands. I don't say in Muslim hands, but like they're the ones putting guns in extremists' hands. And just, like not just like Muslim extremists, but just American extremists. It's an ongoing circle, and it needs to be broken. That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
All right, y'all. Well, I'll put all the information, links, and sources in the description bar below. So like and subscribe to this channel, and we talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.